Good afternoon, everyone. Excuse the technical difficulties. Hopefully we're all a go now. My name is Eric Schuettpelz. I'm the chair of the NMNH Department of Botany. And whether you're here with us in Baird Auditorium or joining us on Zoom, I'd like to welcome you to the 19th Smithsonian Botanical Symposium. Life on the Edge, Exceptional Plants and Exceptional Places. The Smithsonian Botanical Symposium is fundamentally a collaboration, a partnership between the National Museum of Natural History and the United States Botanic Garden. From the NMNH, I'd like to invite Dr. Rebecca Johnson, Associate Director for Science and Chief Scientist, to the podium to say a few words.
Thank you, Eric. To say that it's nice to see you, I'm not being hyperbolic. It really is fantastic to see people in person. And welcome to those of you joining us online. It's my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the National Museum of Natural History to our Botanical Symposium this year. The theme, Life on the Edge, Exceptional Plants in Exceptional Places, is so fitting for so many reasons. I think metaphorically we've felt a little on the edge over the past 2 years. And over the past 2 years, what's happened in our environment and some of the challenges that are increasingly acute in our world are so fitting for the theme of the conference. It's certainly relevant for Smithsonian. We have a plan that we're developing at the moment, which is called Life on a Sustainable Planet. And it's very much about understanding and explaining and amplifying the reach, relevance and impact of the work here at the Smithsonian. And there is no more important topic than the tens of thousands of species that you're going to be discussing in various forms on the edge over the next few hours. So I welcome you. I hope that you have a fantastic symposium. I hope that the hybrid format goes well, and please enjoy the rest of the meeting.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. Now from the United States Botanic Garden, I'd like to ask Dr. Susan Pell, Deputy Executive Director, to step forward to provide a few remarks.
Hi, welcome everybody here in the auditorium and online. I'm Susan Pell, as Eric said, and I wanted to just give you a little bit of an orientation to the U.S. Botanic Garden. In normal times, after the symposium, we go to the garden and have a wonderful evening reception, but we're not in normal times just yet, so we won't be doing that tonight. So I wanted to show you a couple of pictures from the garden and to welcome you to come visit. We're open every day from 10 to 5, and we are the oldest continuously operating public garden in the United States. We celebrated our 200th anniversary in 2020. We are part of the legislative branch, so we're right at the foot of the U.S. Capitol at the other end of the National Mall from here. We have over 1 million visitors a year, and we maintain a living collection of about 65,000 species. So there's many of those tens of thousands of species that we'll talk about today are in our living collection, and you can come see them. We also offer a diversity of online programming, and we'll soon return to in-person programming as well. And we have a lot of scientific partnerships and collaborations that we do to advance different science initiatives, mostly in conservation. And I've just listed a few of those conservation partnerships that we've had historically, and I'll highlight a couple of those that we have with Smithsonian. We, of course, very much enjoy offering this botanical symposium with them and have for many years. And we also have worked on the Global Genome Initiative that was initiated by Smithsonian on their gardens, part of that program. And that's what the picture at the top here is actually some Smithsonian people collecting plants at U.S. Botanic Garden. So we do science through partnerships, and we're hoping to get really back to doing science at the garden as well. And if any of you have questions about that later today, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on the break about different opportunities to do science with us in partnership at the United States Botanic Garden. Thank you for joining today, and I look forward to hearing these wonderful talks with you.
Thank you very much, Susan. Next up, I'd like to invite Dr. Ken Wurdack to the stage. Ken is a curator of botany, and he'll present this year's Cuatrecasas Medal for excellence in tropical botany. Ken.
All right, here we go. The José Cuatrecasas Medal for Excellence in Tropical Botany is named in honor of Dr. José Cuatrecasas, a pioneering botanist and taxonomist who spent nearly half a century working at the National Museum of Natural History. Dr. Cuatrecasas had a distinguished career devoted to systematic botany and plant exploration in tropical South America, especially in the Andes. And this award serves to keep vibrant his accomplishments and memory. The Department of Botany and the U.S. National Herbarium present the award at the Smithsonian Botanical Symposium to a botanist and scholar of international stature who has contributed significantly to advancing the field of tropical botany. This year, we are very pleased to present the 19th José Cuatrecasas Medal for Excellence in Tropical Botany to Fabián A. Michelangeli, who's doing double duty here also as a speaker. Dr. Michelangeli earned a Bachelor of Science in 1993 from the Universidad Central de Venezuela, his PhD in 2000 from Cornell University for research on Tococa, a genus of ant plants in the Melostomataceae. Since 2004, he has been a curator at the New York Botanical Garden in their Institute of Systematic Botany, where he continues research on Melostomataceae. Melostomataceae, with about 177 genera and 5,800 species, is one of the most easily recognized tropical plant families, and the Smithsonian and the New York Botanical Garden have some of the world's best collections due to multiple generations of curator research on the family. Dr. Michelangeli has authored or co-authored over 160 publications, from book-length monographs to large-scale phylogenetic studies, and that have encompassed 70 new species and hundreds of new nomenclatural changes. Most recently, he is co-editor with Renato Goldenberg and Frank Almeida of the forthcoming book titled Systematics, Evolution, and Ecology of Melostomataceae, which is due out in July, and promises to be a definitive synopsis of worldwide melostome research. He has an active program in field work in Latin America, advised or co-advised 25 graduate students and postdocs, mostly Latin American students working on melostomes, and even starred in an IMAX movie on Tepuis. Please welcome Dr. Michelangeli. Fabián, where are you? My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Those of you who know me know that I'm rarely quiet or lost for words, and I really don't know what to say. This is usually, I think, for people that have really contributed, and I hope that my career is only starting. So I'm very nervous about this, but if the only reason I might accept this award is as a tribute to my very unselfish advisors and colleagues that have really helped me accomplish all of that, but most of all for all those students and postdocs that have helped me be a little bit relevant. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Fabián. So, we have a pretty fantastic lineup for you all today. Going forward, I'll do my best to try and keep things on time. Amazingly, I think we're ahead of schedule, which is quite shocking, and we'll do our best to do that going forward. The program with the talks will start at 1:15, which is just a few minutes from now. For those of you joining us on Zoom, note that all of the times that are listed here are Eastern Daylight Time. And like I said, we're going to do our best to stick to the schedule, but they should be treated as approximate, their targets. Speakers, I'm certainly going to need your help. Everyone's been allocated a 30-minute slot. It'd be great if you could allow some time for questions. At the end, I'll let you know, waving my hands or standing up, jumping up and down, when 5 minutes remain in your slot. Okay, so for some logistics, for those of you joining us online, please note that the webinar features live closed captioning. To turn this function on or off, you can click on the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom interface. If you have a question for a speaker, you can submit it using the Q&A box, also at the bottom of the interface. For those of you here in the live audience, you can, of course, ask questions directly, but because of the hybrid format, it's especially important that you do so through a microphone. So there are a couple of microphones staged here in the auditorium, and I'd ask if you have a question that you please approach and ask your question through the microphone. Also, for those of you here in the auditorium, public Wi-Fi is available. Just look for the SI Visitor Network. Also, if you haven't already figured this out, bathrooms are located in the Constitution Avenue lobby, right where you probably came in. If you head out of the auditorium, just head toward the light. When you hit the security checkpoint, look to either the left or the right. Men's is to the left, women's to the right as you're headed that direction. The symposium, of course, does not happen by itself. I have a lot of folks to thank. First and foremost, the United States Botanic Garden and the National Museum of Natural History, Department of Botany, for financial support. I'd also like to thank the USBG and NMNH staff for their assistance, and especially Marianne Apicelli, Marisol Arciniega Melendez, and Adriana Reynolds for their help with speaker travel, funds management, and other logistical support. The organizing committee for this year's symposium consisted of Pedro Acevedo, Amy Bolton, Janelle Burke, Rose Gullidge, Gary Krupnick, Susan Pell, Paul Peterson, myself, Ken Wurdack, and Elizabeth Zimmer. A big thank you goes to Gary Krupnick, who has taken a lead role in executing the plan that was developed by the committee. And so, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our first speaker today.